In this video, we're talking design inspiration today. Hey everybody, and welcome to EC Flowers and More. I'm designer Frank Blanchard AIFD, and today I'm going to give you a little design inspiration on a modern take on a dozen roses, specifically a dozen garden roses. And today I'm going to use this beautiful variety of peach garden rose called Peach Xpression that I received from EC Flowers and More the other day. And now today, giving you some quick, easy tips that you can do to create a classic dozen rose arrangement, but it's definitely got a modern twist and flair to it. Today, for this design, I'm using a really modern cylindrical vase that is very straight-sided, but the very top of it and the bottom as well is slightly rounded or curved over. It's a very modern shape, and I've added a few decorative polished river rock to the bottom, and I've already filled my vase with some slightly warm water with a good floral preservative in it. In addition to the roses, the other flowers that I'm going to include with this that is definitely a more modern take on it is Green Trick Dianthus, and also some mini green hydrangea blooms. Those are the only other types of flowers and foliage that I'm going to have in the vase with the roses. I'm not doing traditional filler flowers, so this is very much a more modern take on a classic dozen rose arrangement. So for starters, for this particular design, I'm going to start by adding my Green Trick Dianthus, and I'm using this basically to create a bit of a collar around the top of the vase, as well as adding a lot of texture to the design. The Green Trick Dianthus, if you haven't seen it before, is a more modern genus of Dianthus, which is the same flower family as carnations, but they really have a tendency to look like what I would call forest moss, something that you would see growing on a log in the woods. They very much have that appearance, very textural, and something that adds a nice softness to the design in a beautiful shade of green. But it adds a lot of nice soft texture to it without being the traditional type of filler flower that we so commonly see with a dozen roses. Now, as you can see, I quickly added the Green Trick Dianthus and the Hydrangea to this design, and I've already got a really nice shape. I'm cutting everything with my design knife, so everything's getting a nice angled cut, so it'll be able to drink well once it's in the vase. And now I'm going to start by adding the roses to my design. Now, this is, as I mentioned, a variety of peach garden rose called Peach Xpression. And this is a variety from EC Flowers and More that I got the other day, farm direct. So they're extremely fresh, and they're a beautiful shade of peach, almost mango in color, and a really nice large head on them. They're gonna open up really nicely. To have a dozen rose arrangement about this size, once it's done, is really nice for people to be able to give as gifts, because it's a size that more people are going to be able to have some place where they can display it. So frequently, a dozen rose arrangement, quite traditionally, has been a large scale round design that for some people, depending on where they're getting those flowers or who they're taking them to, it's kind of hard to find some place to put it. So something like this is nice because your customer can still give as a gift a dozen roses, but it gives the person so many more options as to where they conceivably could display the flowers and be able to enjoy them because it's not so big. Something like this could easily be enjoyed on a living room coffee table, even a kitchen island, but it's also small enough that if you had a customer or if you wanted to make it yourself and take it to somebody as a gift at their work, size-wise, they very likely could even have it on their desk to enjoy it. It's not so big that they couldn't do that. But as you can see, this is coming together really quickly. And if you are in a retail flower shop situation, or even a studio design service, you know time is money. So the faster your design crew can create beautiful arrangements and get them out the door, that's all the better for you. And I'm just adding these last couple of stems to this design. And it's a nice round design of garden roses, Peach Xpression. And with this last insertion, I have a nice dozen roses arranged. To add one last creative twist to this, I'm also going to add some Oasis bark wire. You might be familiar with this. It's a very pliable wire that has been wrapped in jute. You can get it in different colors. Some of it's green, some of it's a nice dark chestnutty brown. And I am just adding this in such a way that it really kind of gives the appearance of a vine running through the design. And it's also another means of adding more texture to your finished design, giving it a very modern take. Something like this, when you add the wire to it, definitely adds to the look that it would go really well in a modern industrial interior. So many people in larger metro areas are living in apartments and condominiums that are in old warehouses, so they've got that industrial feel. And adding something like this adds another natural element, but it gives a bit of a nod to that vintage industrial feel. So the next time you want to give a dozen rose arrangement a fresh modern twist, try something like this. Really fast to execute, doesn't have much in it in the way of product, doesn't have a lot of foliage. So just a few stems of another type of flower, and it could either be the Green Trick Dianthus or the mini green hydrangea like I've used here, but it could very easily be a variety of other things. But this dozen roses of Peach Xpression from EC Flowers and More, beautiful design that you can share with your customers and clientele. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notifications anytime we upload a new video for you. We've got lots of new content headed your way, and until next time,